Because when I found this truth, guess what happened? I put my birthday away. When I found this truth, I put the drugs away. When I found this truth, I quit whoring my sisters. When I found this truth, I started becoming a better man and a better person. Because now I know I'm on that narrow path. Now I know I'm on a righteous path. Now I know what I'm doing is going to get me somewhere.
Living for pleasure, it won't get you nowhere. Your cup is on E, I can't measure. I'm here to address it. What you could be if you let a real nigga protect it. I leave you alone. I leave you alone. I keep calling you, but you texting. I won't. Let's see if you get the memo. Mo. Sympathies. I just wanna see your face. Forward me. I just wanna see your face. Sympathies. I just wanna see your face, yeah. Forward me. I just wanna see your face. I feel alone, please. Just let me feel alone, please. I feel low, but though I have the glow, but please, I don't do no drugs, but somehow I'm out just I'm at peace. I reminisce the old and how I've reached my peak. When it comes to you, you acting like police. You make me wanna OD when your heart on release. Remote in your hand, but still ain't no controlling me. I bagged another soul, you can tell by my set of keys. Something still off the Lord, take the top off. My roots and fruits destroyed, but I'm still like a growing tree. I wanna grow deep in this game without my peeps. I hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave. And you know my other girl, she take the top off. Somehow she's quiet to me, it seems like grief and misery. I lay her down, I fresh her up, then I let her be. Ain't nothing but the simple things. Sympathies. I just wanna see your face. Forward me. I just wanna see your face. Sympathies. I just wanna see your face, yeah. Forward me. I just wanna see your face.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to drop. It's about to get serious. Boy, when they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't gonna tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. See the props. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world to know boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. Nigga, gotta stand up to serve my God. We'll pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we'll pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask shit. Wrong with step, I'm silent for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep me slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the props, that baby soul belongs to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the props.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We'll pray on our knees, nigga. We'll pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We'll pray on our knees, nigga.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This is the ISUPK Killeen Scripture Breakdown class. Let's go ahead and clap it up. Today, I'm just answering any and all questions. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Want to shout out Trooper Lahab out of Dallas. Shout out to you, brother. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and post them. Please like and share the class so we can spread this truth throughout the earth. And do you have any questions online?
There's a couple in the chat.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the sister Lawaya said, Salaki, if I may, she got 3 questions. First one is, what is the origin of birthday cone hats?
Okay. All right. Look up in Google for me, brother. The phrase "king for a day." You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into that. That's a really excellent question. A lot of times and Salakia, let me first salute Shalom Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Brakathum to the brothers, and Shalom Yahweh Shemal Atham Bashem Yahweh to the sisters. A lot of times, man, living in America, the traditions that are passed down to us, we don't, we just follow along because that's what our parents taught us, and we never really know the origin of what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We see our family doing things, relatives doing things, and we just take on those customs. And we don't, at the end of the day, every custom outside of our culture that's in the Bible is linked to paganism. So the sister asking this question is a very important question. You understand? It might seem simple, but this is what, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian mothers and fathers do with their kids all the time. They celebrate birthdays and they put cones on their head. You understand? So asking that question is a good question. Let me see. Actually, you could type in what is the origin of birthday cone hats, and you should see something called King for a Day. Type that in, and we'll get into that. And ultimately, what this all boils down to is that any pagan custom, anything that we involve ourselves in outside of the culture that the Most High Yahweh gave us is what the Bible calls fornication. You understand? So type in does it say the King for a Day? Type in King for a Day on the side. It should give the breakdown on that. In France, you put King for a Day in France. Expand that. Let me see. That is not what I'm looking for. Put the ancient origins of birthdays and wearing cones and wearing cone hats. Put that in there. This is Google?
No lie.
It's not Google? Oh, that's the problem. Yeah, go to Google. Yeah, now type that in. The ancient origins of birthday cone hats. All right, go ahead and thank the water. Go ahead and read that real quick. The first part.
Go on, sir. Salaki. So the birthday cone hat.
Do like where it's equal. Don't minimize me and just or even this one right here is fine too. Yeah, there you go.
The birthday cone hat and King for a Day concept trace back to the 1400s France.
Right. This whole now it goes deeper than the 1400s, but I'm gonna show you how Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, this really is really rooted in white supremacy and how because we lost our position with the Most High as being the rulers of the earth, that's who we look up to. That's who we want to imitate. We want to feel like that's why, the thing that a lot of white supremacists are using now in the comments when we've been posting pictures of us in our cultural garments as priests, right? And the title of the picture might be a true priest of God. And all in the comments, you'll have white supremacists saying things like we was kings. And you see a lot of blackity black individuals saying, they'll greet you and say, what shalom king or, shalom king and shalom queen and all that. Like everybody was kings and queens. And in Israel, there was not kings and queens. You understand? It was a king. But the Bible does say that Christ is going to make us kings and priests to rule over the earth. But we do it because we know that we've lost our culture and identity. And it's a way for us to try to empower ourselves to have a higher self-esteem in a society where they grind the black man and black woman to powder, the Hispanic man and Hispanic woman to powder, the Native Indian man and Native Indian woman to powder. We refer to ourselves in that light because we know that we're living on the bottom of society, that we're living in poverty. So when they see us, they try to mock us and say we was kings. But the truth of the matter is that all of our sins against the Most High come from a lack of self-esteem, and it also comes from an envy of the people that oppress us. You understand? And you're gonna read as he reads on, you're gonna see why this King for a Day. This is really rooted in a more ancient pagan custom of celebrating your birthday, but the cone hats originate from this. Go ahead and keep reading.
God, sir. Early celebrations were reserved for kings and nobility.
Who were they reserved for?
Kings and nobility.
Y'all ever notice when we even I'm talking about for black culture, right? Even in the clubs, it's a song called "It's Your Birthday, It's Your Birthday," right? We have songs to commemorate either zodiac signs, where my Libra's at, where my Scorpio's at, you understand, where my Capricorn's at. Everything is revolving around us. You know what I'm saying? It's like the idea of a birthday is for you to celebrate yourself, you know what I'm saying, and have everybody else celebrate you as well. That comes from a lack of self-esteem. It comes from a psychologically, it comes from the idea of you feeling like you're not anything. So you need people to celebrate you like you're what? Like your nobility. You understand? So read it again. Early celebrations.
Early celebrations were reserved for kings and nobility.
Go ahead.
As commoners began tracking birthdays, they adopted the cone shape from the medieval hennin.
They adopted the cone shape. So I don't know if you're able to pull it up in the file, what that looked like in France. You understand? If you could pull that up, it should be that right there.
I gotta share the window.
That's fine. We just go back to it. Well, it's a file, so I don't know if it's going to be on the Chrome tab. I mean, actually, you know what? Salakia, they're in the, I don't know if you can pull them up, but they're actually in the email. It's like from last week, though. Yahija. This should be right there. Yep, right there. And just go to, and pull up her right there. Yep, that one. And then you can share screen on that. Actually, window, and then just use that, right?
No, I'm gonna share the screen instead. Select.
Okay.
Just doing a double.
Yeah, I would remove that and do the window. Y'all bear with me, all right? Hey, Shalom, y'all, how y'all doing, man? Yeah, I would do window, so you can be able to move through them all, and still go back to the scriptures and all that.
They are right here.
No, I'm saying so you can you go to the Apocrypha as well?
Right, yeah. I just gotta hit share instead.
Okay, no sweat. All right, so pull that up and you can expand it. This right here is can you expand the picture? It's not letting you?
Live.
There's no way. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see this, but what's on her head is a cone. And this is what French nobility, English nobility, they would wear cone hats as a sign of nobility. You know what I'm saying? Like that cone cylinder, you know what I mean, a shaped pointy hat. And so this is part of where the cone hats for birthdays come from. You understand? But like anything else, white folks are what? They're thieves and they're liars. So they steal what they have from older cultures, older ancient cultures. Go ahead and skip to the next picture. Let me see which. No, go back. I'm sorry. It's this one. This might be a little clearer for y'all to see. If you can see the cone hats on the bottom, you can put the arrow on it. You know what I'm saying? These are the cone hats that French nobility wore. You understand? And this is why on birthdays they put cone hats on the kids, because it's you being a king for a day. It's you being recognized, even though you're a commoner, you're in poverty, that for at least one day out the year, you can be treated like a king or treated like a queen, right? But it's older than that, right? Go back to the Google, the breakdown of the, and keep reading.
God, sir. Early celebrations were reserved for kings and nobility. As commoners began tracking birthdays, they adopted the cone shape from the medieval hennin,
right?
The tall cone hat worn by royal court women.
So even when you put the cone hat on a boy, men didn't wear that. Women wore that. The Bible says that the effeminate shall not inherit the kingdom. You're actually effeminizing your boys and your sons when you put those hats on your children. You understand? It was worn by the women in the royal court, right? Keep reading.
To emulate nobility and feel like royalty.
To emulate nobility and to feel like royalty. You understand? Yahija, is everything Tawab? Yahija, is everything Tawab? What happens to have a seat, bro? You haven't. Oh, no sweat. Oh, no sweat, bro. I thought y'all was staying for class. Ain't no sweat. All right. No sweat, man. Go ahead and give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24. They wanted to feel like royalty and nobility for a day. And why? Because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, us being in poverty, birthdays and going out to the club is the only time where we feel like we're living a life where we're in heaven, even though we're in the midst of hell. You understand? Go ahead and read that.
Okay, the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
Through envy of the what?
Of the devil.
Through envy of the devil. The Lord designated us to be a royal nation, a royal priesthood, to rule this earth. But through envy of the devil, what does that mean? Envy of the other nations that are around us. You understand? What happened?
Came death into the world.
Came what?
Came death into the world.
And death into the world. Does that mean death in terms of like you physically dying, or death as far as like the world meaning the entire earth? No. Death came into the society of the Israelites, because the world that's being talked about here is the world of Israel. Death came into our world. And Yahidra, what does death mean according to the scriptures for us?
Meaning like a spiritual death?
Explain.
Like your spirit's no longer tapped into the captivity. Now you die spiritually to come into the body of Christ.
No, that's not. It's really a simple. A lot of times when, we want to like, cause we, in school, they make us give out like paragraph answers. It's really a simple 1 to 3 word answer. What does death represent for us in terms of the world of Israel? In the chat, anybody has an answer, let me know. What does death represent? It's really just one word, but I could give you 1 to 3. Anybody in the chat? What does death represent to our nation?
Sis in the chat said curses.
Hey,
Sis.
give her a hand. I don't know who that was, but give her a hand. That's exactly correct. The curses. It's the punishments. You understand? Because we envied our oppressor, we envied the devil, death came into our world. You understand? And I'm going to show you where it all started from. Go back to the Google breakdown of the origin of cone hats. It should say something like ancient origins.
Right.
All right.
So ancient Egypt in 2800 BC, the earliest visual evidence of festive cone-shaped headwear comes from Egyptian banquet art and tomb burials, symbolizing sky-reaching celebration.
Right. And if you go even deeper into it, what it is that it was the headwear for banquets and celebrations that actually date back to the antiquity of the ancient Egyptians, right? Their art and archaeological digs uncovered women wearing cone hats made of wax and resin at banquets to channel the sky and represent the gods, because they wanted to be worshipped as gods. So because the Egyptians had a royal class, the women on banquets or birthdays, they would wear cone hats. Go ahead and show me, bring up those pictures for me of the Egyptian women wearing cone hats. You can't make it bigger?
There's a way, I don't know how.
I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Yahidra, the water, brother. Now that was help, brother. Thank you. Now skip back to the word. Yeah. Now if y'all can see it on top of the sisters' heads, put the arrow on it so they can see it. They're wearing cones. Go back some more. Let me see what other pictures they had. Keep going. Go back another one. Okay, that was the French one. Now go to that. You see what's on top of these Egyptian women's heads. These are on the walls in the pyramids. They're wearing cone hats. This is how old this custom is. Our current oppressor, right? Whose origins in terms of being related to Egypt is the Greeks. When Alexander the Freak conquered Darius, who was Darius at the time, the Persians, they were over that area. They set up one of their capitals in Alexandria, Egypt. And they what's the word they use nowadays? Culturally appropriated the customs of the Egyptians into Greek customs, and it passed down through white culture down to the French, and passing on this custom of nobility and celebrating yourself like like you're wealthy. When the truth of the matter is, you were a commoner, you were poor. So because you envied the rich, you envied those that were in a higher economic station, you wanted to feel like a god for a day, a king for a day, a queen for a day. You understand? Give me Genesis chapter 40 verse 20, and I'm gonna show you that this is also in the Bible. You understand? where this whole origin of celebrating birthdays comes from. Go ahead and read that.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants.
He made a feast unto all his servants. Okay.
And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker amongst his servants.
Right. So at this banquet, it was the Pharaoh's birthday. Now, Caucus, I can look this up. You can look up the coronation as divine birth for pharaohs and see what comes up in Google. You understand? These were the first recorded birthday celebrations and grand feasts and ceremonies honoring the pharaoh. Why? Because instead of marking their actual birth date, right, these events celebrated the date of the pharaoh's coronation. Why? Because the ancient Egyptians, what they believed was that upon taking the throne, the ruler was transformed from a mere mortal man into a god. You understand? It was for him to be worshipped as a god. You had a breakdown of that? Is it there? I think it's saying something else. Coronation of divine birth in Egypt for a pharaoh. That should be what the word, that's why it's kind of giving you a broad response. Put for a pharaoh. Or coronation of divine birth, pharaoh.
The divine birth and coronation were the theological mechanism used by Egyptian pharaohs to legitimize their rule, framing the monarch as the biological offspring of a god.
Right. So when the pharaoh took the seat of the throne, it was like he was the offspring of a god. Now, where have we heard that from? The offspring of a god. Christianity. This is how you know that Christianity is really based in Egyptian mythology. Because what do they say? Christ is what? They say Jesus is what? God. Because he's what? The offspring of God. That he was born, that he was born of a virgin, and it was God that made Mary pregnant. This is all rooted in Egyptian mythology. You understand? So even saying that Jesus is God, you're really an Egyptologist. Straight up. You're a pagan. As you know, and then who else did that? Who else talked about the offspring of the gods? The Greeks. Right? Zeus, he'd go down and sleep with a woman, and then he have what? Demigods. That's where you get Artemis, Apollo. Who else? Hercules, Perseus. This was what Zeus would go down and change his bodily form into a bull or into another, like a poor man, and he'd go lay with a maiden, a beautiful maiden on the earth, and they would produce a demigod. This is also the concept why Christians and mainly white people, but now blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have taken on this lie, right, of angels sleeping with women and producing what? The Nephilim, giants in the earth. All of this comes from Greek mythology, but it's really rooted in Egyptian mythology. That men were the offspring of the gods. Now, we are the children of God, but we die as men. You understand? Keep reading the divine birth.
Okay. Framing the monarch as the biological offspring of a god and the earthly manifestation of Horus.
Keep going.
Divine birth, which is theogamy. The state theology held that the reigning god, chiefly Amun-Ra or
Ra, Amun-Re or Ra,
assumed the physical form of the pharaoh's reigning father to impregnate the queen mother.
Read that again. Read that again. What does that sound like? The virgin birth, right? Keep read again.
Assumed the physical form of the pharaoh's reigning father to impregnate the queen mother, ensuring the divine bloodline of the successor.
So what they saying? So like when Christians say that the Holy Spirit overshadowed Mary, that's what they're saying. That God came and physically put seed in Mary. This is where all of this comes from. Keep reading the coronation. I don't know if it says ritual or what.
Coronation ritual, a month-long sequence of rites occurring over the better part of a year that transformed the mortal heir into a living god.
Right. So they would have what you would call birthday banquets or celebrations to make the people believe that the heir of the pharaoh was a living god. You understand? a living God, right? And also too, you had the celebration of deities, right? Because Egyptians also celebrated the birthdays of their gods, right? And and they they would celebrate Osiris, Isis, Horus. They would celebrate their birthdays. This is where it all comes from. So to the sister's question, where do birthday cone hats come from? It comes from pagans. It comes from Egyptians. You understand? And give me Leviticus 18:3 real quick. And I'm gonna go, since you brought up the cones, I'm gonna go even deeper. I'm gonna go into the candles. Where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? Let's break down the whole thing about birthdays, because a lot of times people that say they believe in God, they'll say things like, well, how come God wouldn't be? Why would God be mad at me celebrating the day that He gave me life? Like you're making it about God. I just want to thank God for letting me see another year. They always try to like merge it in there. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord ain't with that. He's not with it. And I'm gonna show it to you. Leviticus 18:3.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 3.
Yeah, Most High Christ.
After the doings of the land of Egypt.
After the what?
After the doings of the land of Egypt. Wherein ye dwelt.
Right.
Thou, shall ye not do.
Right. After the doings of the land of Egypt, you shall not do those things. We verified it. The sister asked, where do the cone hats come from? Right? You know it comes from the white man in France in the 1400s, but it goes back further than that. Why? Because what land did the Israelites come up out of where they were in slavery? What land did they come up out of? Egypt. The same way how we live in America today and we learn all these holidays, right? All of America's holidays, and we celebrate their holidays. We were doing the same things in Egypt. And the Lord had to take us up out of there and show us our culture. That's what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is. It's a sanctuary, a little sanctuary in the countries where we're scattered, for us to come in and get the water of life and the breath of life, to learn our culture, to be able to separate ourselves from the culture and the customs of modern day Egypt or Babylon. And when we came out of Egypt just like how we would come out of America. We had the mindset of the Egyptians. We had the mindset of our oppressor. And it's a great deal for the oppressor, right? He get all the power, he get all the money, he get all the taxes, and you just spend all your money on trying to feel like him for a day. Ain't that what we do at the clubs? We a slave all week long, and we want to have our break on the Sabbath day. We don't want to take the rest of the Lord. We want to get the rest of Egypt, the rest of Babylon. By going in and it's the sister's birthday, and she letting people tag, she got a pin with dollar bills on her. You've never seen that in South America where they get the idols of like Mary and these different so-called saints, and they tag dollars on it. These are offerings to God, to a God. So when a woman's walking around and she has dollar bills on her, getting pinned on her, it's because she wants to be worshiped and acknowledged as a God by giving offerings to her. That's where it comes from. Keep reading.
God, sir. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Shall ye not do. Give me the origin of the custom of putting candles on cakes. Let's get into that. If you got any questions, y'all can put them in the chat. All right, let's get to that. I mean, ultimately, with all these different pagan holidays, it's gonna go back either to Egypt or to to the Africans or to the white man. And it's no coincidence that the Africans sold us to the white man. Like they just juggled our bondage. You understand? Right there, ancient Greece. Go ahead.
In ancient Greece, Fire held deep spiritual significance, and rituals involving candles were common in religious ceremonies.
Listen, so this the origin of candles on cakes for your birthday came from the Greeks. Keep reading.
There are festivals dedicated to Artemis, the goddess of the moon and hunting.
The goddess of the moon. When you light candles on a birthday cake, this is a Greek pagan custom to the goddess Artemis. The Lord God don't care about my birthday. I'm just giving him thanks. No, you're giving worship to another god. You're committing spiritual adultery, spiritual fornication. Keep reading.
Worshippers offered moon-shaped cakes adorned with lit candles.
That's where the cake come from. It's a circle. It's supposed to be the shape of the moon, and lighting the candles was to the goddess Artemis. Keep reading.
These candles symbolized the moon's gentle glow and were believed to carry prayers and wishes, good night, to the gods when extinguished.
So what do they say before you blow out candles? They say what? Make a what?
Make a wish.
Make a wish. It's a prayer. And you as you Christians, you say that you serve the God of the Bible when you're teaching your children and you're getting your children involved in a pagan custom to a false god. As an Israelite, you should not be dealing with birthdays whatsoever, whether it's cone hats, lighting candles, or making cakes. They even talked about in the scriptures, if you want to look it up, you don't have to, but it talked about how they baked cakes to the Queen of Heaven. I think that's in Ezekiel or in Isaiah. They baked cakes. In fact, get that for me so I can show you. Everything is in the scriptures. Everything is in our records, man. Look that up, Yahijah. They baked cakes to the Queen of Heaven. Look that up. Go ahead and read that, Yahijah. Or you can pull it up. I'm going to get there, Yawash. Shout out to Priest Yawash. Go ahead and read that, Ak. Well, actually, I really want caucus out already. You said Jeremiah what? Okay, read that for me. 7 and verse 18. No sweat. The water for locating that scripture, Ak. Oh, we're gonna get to that, Yawash. You getting ahead of me, brother. we gonna get there.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes.
To make what?
To make cakes to the Queen of Heaven.
To the Queen of Heaven. Now, what's so heavy is that the Queen of Heaven, Artemis was, and I think Artemis is the Roman name, but because I believe Artemis was the sister of Apollo, right? But she was one of Zeus's daughters. You understand? And she was a goddess in heaven. So they baked cakes to the Queen of Heaven. Read.
And to pour out drink offering unto other gods.
Oh, good night.
That they may provoke me to anger.
When you celebrate your birthday, which especially for the kids, we just doing it for the kids. I mean, it's only for the kids. We don't really care about it. You're lying. You be having birthday parties and going to the club with dollars on your blouse up into your 50s and 60s. We see it. This ain't about the kids. It's about you being in your second childhood. You a kid. You a grown ass, a man or woman, and you a kid. You a child. That's why the Bible says, let us not be little children anymore. We have to grow into the knowledge of the truth. You understand? Read it one more time, Mike. Baking cakes for the Queen of Heaven. Now I just showed you in Greek culture where they were the cakes and the candles was to the goddess Artemis. Now what you do with that information now is on you. But you celebrating your birthday is against God. I'm about to spike the ball with this next aspect of it and proving who you really worship when you do this. But here in the scriptures, this is an old thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Whatever's happening right now, it was happening back then. Go ahead, Doc.
So the children, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offering unto other gods.
Y'all get them bottles. You know what I mean? Who taking shots? We taking shots. Ain't nothing wrong with taking shots. You know, we take shots too. But when we take shots, we say La Yasha Allah. We say to Israel. We drink to our God. Christ takes shots. He said, I'm not going to drink again until I drink the wine brand new with y'all in the kingdom. Christ is going to take a drink when he sits on the throne and he's with all of his brothers. And we have subdued this earth for the Most High God, Yahweh. So ain't nothing wrong with taking shots, but who you taking shots to? Yourself? The goddess, the queen of heaven? You know what I'm saying? Keep reading. Was there any more on that?
No, sir. That they may provoke me to anger.
Mm-hmm. And really what ended up happening is that it's called the Greeks used candles as offerings to goddesses, but then how it became personal, it was that got developed like in the 18th century in Germany. It's called Kinderfest. You understand, where they started making it for the kids or the person themselves. But ultimately, this is all about self-worship, because there is no other. You know, there be many that be called gods, but unto us there is one God, right? And really, you know, America is great at it. America, and this is what the serpent tempted Eve with, right? When she saw that tree, and we're gonna get into that as well. But it was about making her a god, making her to be worshipped. That's why, you know, General Muhammad said making women happy, brought death into the world, trying to make a woman happy. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a woman be happy, but the Bible says happy is he that finds wisdom. If a woman is righteous and you're making a righteous woman happy is fine. But no, the man was not made for the woman. The woman was made for man. And the man was made to serve God. And the woman was made to serve the man in serving the Most High. That's the order right there. You understand? So, brothers, don't get caught up in trying to, don't make your woman a god, is what I'm trying to say. Don't serve your woman, serve God. And if she don't want to serve you while you serve God, then, you just locate another one. And that's that. But a sister that is serving God, of course you honor her, man. You do the things that give honor to her for being a righteous woman. You understand? Give me go ahead, Doc.
Like if I could, I don't want.
Yeah, go ahead.
To the point of you talking about birthdays and et cetera, about the Pegasus and Zeus and all those people.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be a precept? If I could I read it?
Go ahead.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 16. Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
Okay.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
That's a fact.
So it's like,
yeah. I mean, that's why they have these statues of like Sam Houston in San Antonio, and he was a slave owner, a slave trader. You know what I mean? He hated Hispanics, he hated Negroes, he hated Native Indians. Daniel Boone. They make statues of these men, like the Mount Rushmore. These are graven images of men that were enemies to our nation. And so when you celebrate Independence Day or you celebrate any of these holidays, Memorial Day and all that, when really that was a holiday that was created by blacks and Hispanics to celebrate the achievements of our people in Esau's military, and they co-opted it like they do everything else, and used it to like uplift their who they want to say is their heroes, when every war that America has fought has been won by blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I don't need to go into that right now. But the idea of memorializing gods is to take us away from our God. You understand? It's to have us give our honor to something that has that it's us giving our honor to the oppressor. It's us giving our honor to a power that cannot protect us. I think that's in Lamentations. We've sought for a nation that can't help us. You understand? But so like, give me you can give me that too, but give me Deuteronomy 18:9. But that was an excellent precept. The water. You know what I'm saying? The whole point is that we're not supposed, we have as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as Israelites, we've always had a self-esteem issue. We've always had an issue of low self-esteem, how we look at ourselves. We think that by chasing a feeling of having power in the moment that we've achieved something, when really your confidence and your esteem should be in your works that you do towards your power, towards the Most High, to our King Christ, in service to your brothers, in service to your sisters. You understand? In service to your nation. That's where your esteem should come from. That I have a reputation that is blameless. You understand? And serving your power, and loving your brother and your neighbor as yourself. That's where your esteem should come from, not looking at what our oppressor has. That's a temporary thing. Let me get that. Leviticus 18 Deuteronomy 18:9, Salakia. We got to stop looking around at everybody else. You know, we always talking about, man, the Chinese have businesses. They got Chinatown. The East Indians got this, and they come in and do this. We don't need to look at nobody else. When you see the Chinese restaurant up in your neighborhood, you see the Chinese running your corner store. And what's the brother that lost his life recently?
Cyrus Belton.
Cyrus Belton. You know what I'm saying? May he rise again. May he rise in power. That is an indication of the death that has entered our world, the curses. That the stranger amongst you shall rise up high and you'll be low. The damn Moabite, the damn Chinese man gets the same privilege that the white man gets. He can murder you in your own village, in your own neighborhood, and a white jury is going to say that he's not guilty. The same way that they'll do it for a white man. Why? Because all of these nations have conspired against us. They're all confederate against us. If you want to have wisdom, right? Wisdom is experience. If you want to have wisdom, then you should be studying these records so you can properly assess what is actually happening to us as a people in a nation right now. But you rather celebrate a birthday. Go ahead and read that, Ark.
Okay, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
We study to learn to do the abominations of the nations that are around us. We study it. We learn it. And we pass it down to our kids. And this offends the Lord. He's saying when you come into the land, don't learn after their abominations. Why? Give me Leviticus 20 and 23.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 23. Ye shall not walk in the manner of the nation which I cast out before you.
Right. We're not supposed to walk in the manners of the nation that the Lord is trying to get out of power, to get rid of. You think the Lord wants Donald Trump in office? You think the Lord wants Peter Hegseth to have power to harm his people? How are we going to act like them and expect the Lord to save us? Keep reading.
Okay. For they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them.
I abhorred them. The Lord abhors the white man. He abhors the Moabite, the Chinese man. He abhors the sons of Ishmael, the Arabs. He abhors them. He abhors their customs. They kneel and kiss rocks. They bow down and worship wood. You know, the white man is just a Christian lately. You know, he was doing human sacrifice, hanging up his own people upside down and slicing their bodies open and offering their blood up to Odin and to Freya and to Loki and to Thor. You understand? He just became that. You know, the white man in America, he hate Muslims, but you understand that Turkey is the modern Ottoman Empire. There were white Muslims and white Christians, but guess what? They all the devil. They all the devil. So now we envy them and end up following them. When we have a God, we have a power, and he called us to be holy. Give me Deuteronomy 12:30. Anybody ask you, how come you don't celebrate your birthday? What's wrong with that? Why God care about that? Now you know. I hope you're writing these precepts down. Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30.
Click this one right here. It's going to be bigger for them on the screen. Go ahead, yeah.
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
What does snared mean? What does it mean to be snared? Take heed to yourself that you be not snared. What does snared mean? Anybody in the chat? Give them a chance. What does it mean to be snared?
Trooper Shakat said trapped.
That's a fact. Give that trooper a hand, man. Give him a hand. It's a trap. You know what I mean? We talk about the trap house up in the trap. Man, look, man, that's what a snare is. It's a trap. He's saying, take heed that you're not trapped by following what? Read.
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
Mm-hmm.
After that, they be destroyed from before thee.
Uh-huh.
And that thou inquire not after their gods.
Right. So, you know, a lot of times black people, because we're so destroyed as a people, and we have a low self-esteem and a poor self-identity, not knowing who we are, we think it's what's the word? We think it's what's the word, Caucus Eye? What is it like when somebody knows a lot of languages? It's like people are like impressed by your ability to know like many tongues, or you know, when you have a college degree. It's like we think that it's of merit to know have traveled to like China and know other cultures, and they do this over here. This is how they worship their gods. Culture, like we think it's like I don't know what the word is. We think it's I'm using the word noble, but it's another word. Culture. Culture. That the water, that is it. We think it's culture to be cultured, or to have or to be of a certain tier of experience or cultured to learn about other cultures. When the Lord is saying He hates that. He hates it. He hates that we go and study these other nations. Why? Because it's almost like trying to study a woman. Right? When you learn a woman and what she likes, what she don't like, why are you doing that? It's because you ultimately want to get her. You want to have her. You want to know what she likes and what she does. Why? Because you want to ultimately become one with her, one flesh. You go over to China and you watch the monks in Tibet or in China in their Buddhist temples, and you see them with their bowls. Why do black women and black men have these bowls with the little, you know what I mean, making the om sounds in these little brown brass bowls and meditating, aligning your chakras? Where did you learn about that? You think you're deep. You think you're spiritual. I'm burning sage, you know, rolling the spoon around my bowl and singing Om, and you think you're deep. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not Christian. I'm not traditional. I'm spiritual. You're provoking our power to anger because you're committing fornication with another god. Read again, and that thou inquire not.
Come on. That thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise.
See, because let me tell you something, man. It's the pressure of equality. See, Martin Luther King, he really effed up our entire nation with this idea of being equal. It's a satanic and evil and wicked idea. And the idea is like a virus. And it's almost like we're tethered to it. We're tied to it now. Because he died, it's like they look at him as like a martyr. So even though he's dead, this wicked idea lives on in the minds of our people of trying to be equal. When the Lord never desired for us to be equal. That was never even in our mandate, in our Constitution. in our law for us to be equal with these other nations to inquire about how they serve their gods. There's only one God for the nation of Israel. That's a prayer of our nation. That the Lord our God is one. The Lord called us to be holy. And to be holy is, it's like, really, man, we should have our noses in the air around all these other nations and their gods. Like somebody took like how you avoid shit in the road. Hey, watch out, man. There's some shit. Don't step in that shit right there. That's how we should deal with all of them. Like, you know, ugh. Like they're beneath us. But instead, what do? We suffer from the pressure of equality. A lot of sisters do that. A lot of sisters, man, they lose a good man because of the pressure of equality. They want to be equal with their sisters, and their sisters are single, and you got a good man, and you let their murmuring and their talk about how they hate men infect your mind, and now because you want to be equal with them, instead of being superior to them by having a man and having a husband and raising a family, you want to be equal with them. So you end up suffering from the pressure of equality. That's what we did as a nation. We it's peer pressure. We were oppressed by the pressure of being equal instead of being liberated with the knowledge that we're superior to everybody on the earth. Not because I say so, but because God says so. Let me get what do you got?
That was the end of that.
Yeah, give me Leviticus 20 and 23. Or 20 and 26.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Uh-huh.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
Right. He said you're supposed to be holy unto me. What is holy? In the chat, what's holy mean? We're supposed to be holy unto God. Holy unto the Most High. What does that mean? This is class, y'all. Help me out. And please like and share. What does it mean to be holy?
Somebody said set apart, separate, set apart.
Give all them sisters a hand. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ. And that's what the Lord wants. The Lord wants us to know what these terms and these words mean, because it has to become part of our psychology. It has to become part of our everyday thinking. That it doesn't matter what you've been through, what scars you have, what markings you have from being in the world. Despite all that, now you're born again and you're holy. You're set apart, right? So read the scripture again.
Come. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and I've severed you from other people.
I've what?
Severed you from other people.
Do y'all know what that word sever means? To sever is like, you ever watch them old like World War I movies? The person get, hit, shot in the leg or shot in the arm, and they didn't have the skills that they have today, like to remove bullets and whatnot. They take a hacksaw and sever your arm off, and amputate your arm. That's what it means to be severed. The Lord is saying he has cut us away, severed us from other people. So y'all understand that the idea of equality means that we now become one with the other nations. We become one flesh with strange flesh. I'm supposed to be one with my brother because he's bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. If you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, your bones is your family. That's all. When you see bones in the Bible, in context, when you see that word bones and flesh of my flesh, that's talking about the closeness and the proximity of family, of who's your family. You understand? That's why, we're called the children of the promise, not the children of the flesh, meaning that our family is separated from other families because we're God's family. Keep reading.
Come. And I've severed you from other people, that ye should be mine.
That you should be mine. There's nothing wrong with us having a Black supremacist, Latino supremacist, Native Indian supremacist mindset. because the Lord commanded us to think that way. Let me say this. The scriptures say that whatever is done without faith is sin. You having low self-esteem and you being an Israelite and you knowing the truth is damn near unlawful. Because your low self-esteem is going to cause you to sin against your God. Because you feel bad about yourself, you can't keep the commandment. What is the commandment about loving your neighbor? Somebody tell me, what is the commandment about loving your neighbor? You should love him as what? Or her as what? You're not allowed to have low self-esteem if you're an Israelite. You're not allowed to think of yourself lowly if you're an Israelite. Now, yeah, we humble ourselves to each other. We don't, high side on each other. We when one of us is doing well, we big up our brother or big up our sister. We promote them. But you're not allowed, but that doesn't mean that you think low of yourself.
Everybody in the chat saying as yourself.
Give them all a hand. That's exactly correct. You can't love your brother or sister if you don't love yourself. If you got low self-esteem, you can't even love your brother properly. Sisters, if you tomorrow, you want a man to love you, do you love you? A lot of times, man, sisters be looking for a man to like fill the void about how they feel about themselves. And that's like trying to pour water into a bottomless pit. There ain't no bottom, so it's never gonna fill up. And that's how a lot of us brothers, we become slaves to our women. What's that scripture where it says many have lost their wits over a woman? You become slaves to your woman because you're feeding a hunger that is never going to be satisfied. She hates herself. She doesn't love herself. So she looks for external confirmations, through, oh, you got to date me and take me here and take me there, and to make her feel like she's worthy or that she matters. When really she should feel that by what she puts inside of her head, by how she loves her people, how she loves and cares for herself, how she respects herself. If you're keeping the commandments and loving your people and serving your nation, then you should have esteem in that. The Bible says, let no man or woman esteem themselves higher than they ought. Well, there's a baseline of a self-esteem. If you're keeping the commandments, right? If you're loving yourself and loving your people, then you're being perfect. Now, there are always things that we can strive for to perfect, but you're being perfect. If you're showing brotherhood and brotherly kindness and courtesy and consideration, then that's being perfect. And what our King taught us is that you ain't got to be perfect to get started. But every day we're dying to ourselves, striving for that high mark, that perfection that was commanded by Christ. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6, and I'm gonna move on from this to the next question. Salakia. Hey, that was an excellent question, sis. The water for that. I'm gonna give you the Most High's mandate for you to have high self-esteem, for you to look at yourself in a manner that you're royalty. You understand? That you truly are the offspring of God. Why? Not because, you're a deity or a demigod. After this, I will get Romans 8 and I'll break that down. Go ahead.
Go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
The
Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
See, we wasn't even pick-me's. We got chose. The Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of molecules, atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, hummingbirds, honeybees, whatever your favorite flower is, sisters, like whatever your favorite flower is, the tulip, the lily, the rose, the Lord fashioned that. Those beautiful sunsets that you see, this world that we live in, the creator of heaven and earth, of the things that you see and don't see, said, I choose you. Yahaja, sister at the door. How does it feel to be, see, a lot of times, man, you know, how does it feel to be chose? How does it feel to be chose, man? That's something that you're supposed to value. Shalom, sis. That's something that you should value and hold on to. Like a what's that called when you keep like an heirloom? It's something that's passed down in your family that you hold on to. You're supposed to hold on to that. That you've been chose. Keep reading.
Come. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, the equal to all people.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Listen, man, we're not equal. You shouldn't suffer from peer pressure, from the pressure of equality, the pressure to be like everybody else. You should be striving to be above all people. And even if that means your own people, if they don't want to follow, if they don't want to have the self-esteem that the Lord chose us, if they want to you know, to be like everybody else, you should fight to be better. You should fight to be superior. You should be a supremacist, an Israelite supremacist, a God supremacist. Because why? God chose you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and drop that and move on, man. What's the next question?
Salakia, the next question was Christ hung on a tree instead of a cross?
Okay. That's a good question. Let me get Acts 5:30, but also it should be in that file a picture in there. If you could pull up for me. All right. Sis, you had any questions? You had any questions? Okay, no sweat.
Which one you want first?
This is fine right here. So the question was Christ hung on a tree instead of a cross. We ain't got to pull it up right now, but I just wanted to make sure that we had it. Was there anything else besides that? That was the only image. That was the only image? If that is, that's fine.
That was the only one I saw.
Okay. Oh yeah, and for the birthday situation, we didn't go into it, but that's the highest holy day of Satanists. In the book of in the Satanic Bible, the birthday was the highest holy day of a Satanist. You celebrating your birthday, you're aligning yourself with Satan in the worship of yourself. That's what the serpent tempted Eve with. You understand? But you know, well, you can go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read that real fast before we get into this.
The highest of all holidays in a satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. This is the direct contradiction of the holy of holy days of other religions, which deify a particular God who has been created in an anthropomorphic form of their own image, thereby showing that the ego is not really buried.
And just read the purple.
So the Satanists celebrate.
No, you can read this from the top of that paragraph. Go ahead, Salakia.
The Satanist feels, why not really be honest? And if you're going to create a God in your image, why not create that God as yourself?
Right. That's what a birthday celebration is you celebrating yourself as a God to be worshipped by others, and they bring you gifts. You know, typically when people worship other gods, they would bring gifts to that God's idol or to that temple and lay their gifts there. And then also have orgies. Ain't you know, during your whole phase, ain't that what you want to do? Have threesomes and orgies on your birthday? You want to get freaky for your birthday? That's an old thing. Keep reading.
Okay. Every man is a god if he chooses to recognize himself as one. So the Satanist celebrates his own birthday as the most important holiday of the year.
What celebrates it?
The Satanist celebrates his own birthday as the most important holiday of the year.
If you celebrate your birthday, you are identifying yourself as a Satanist, okay? We can drop that. what is it called? Look, I want you to look up the word crux commissa, CRUX in Google, COMMISSA. And really, sis, the answer to your question is very simple. It's both. You understand? And I'm gonna break down why it's both. You know, was he hung on a tree or a cross? It is both. Go ahead and read that.
The crux commissa is the Latin term for a T-shaped cross, most commonly known as the tile cross.
Mm-hmm.
The literal meaning from the New Latin translates to connected cross or joined cross, indicating a structural design where the horizontal cross beam is attached directly to the very top of the vertical post.
You hit down, see what they got. No, to show me more. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Read from the Roman execution. Go ahead.
Roman execution. Ancient historical records indicate that the T-shape was the standard, highly efficient structure used by Roman soldiers for public crucifixions.
Right. Now, go to that image. I don't know if y'all familiar with the show or the history of a gladiator called Spartacus, but when we were driven out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, a lot of us were like about 1 million black Jews fled into Africa, but those that didn't escape, they were gathered up and sold in slave markets, in slave auctions, and a lot of us went to the Colosseum to become gladiators or to do sports. So what you see right now, when you see like LeBron James and all these famous black and Hispanic athletes playing football or soccer or whatever like that in these Colosseums, like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. The Colosseums is a Greek structure that was used for bread and circus. It was entertainment to distract people from their poverty, and the government, through taxation, being rich and being upper class off of the income of the poor. So these sports festivals were distractions so the people wouldn't rebel. You understand? And the gladiators, like how you see Adrian Broner boxing and all that kind of stuff in the MMA, right? John Jones, that it was the majority of us in these Colosseums, but we were slaves. Like how they have these contracts where they have to play sports and do this for a certain period of time to get this money. At that time, it was to gain your freedom, because they would pay you with with wine and drugs or sex. And if you ever watched the show Spartacus, it was a lot of alternative lifestyle behavior going on as well, like how you see with these football teams. A lot of these dudes come out as being LGBTQ, LGBTQ, right? All this is old stuff, right? But there was a particular gladiator named Spartacus, and he had a rebellion, and he like kind of like how what Nat Turner did, and he wanted to rebel against Rome. And give me that image of that X cross. And what the Romans did initially was put them on a cross like an X, and they would hang them up like this, right? But in the time of Christ, what they had done was they modified the form of the cross and they made it into a T. And we know that Christ was hung on that type of a cross, a T cross, because they had the inscription of King of the Jews up top above his head. And of course, you couldn't do that on a cross that was, structured like an X. So that's why I was saying the crux commissa is what the Romans used in the time of Christ. You understand? And basically, where it's a T-shaped, and they nail you by your hands and they nail your feet, and all the pressure of your breathing is like your lungs are being crushed under the weight of your own body. But now we're going to read Acts 5:30 to answer your question, sis. Was he hung on a cross or a tree? And I'm going to explain to you. And that was a great question, because, we were hung on trees here in America.
Right.
But of course, it ain't the same way. But I'm explaining to you what it is. But it's no coincidence that Christ was hung on a tree, and so are we. He said, if they persecuted me and hated me, they're going to do it to you as well. Right? Go ahead and read that.
The book of Acts chapter 5, verse 30. The God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree.
Right. The reason why we called it a tree is because it came from a tree out the forest. We're practical. We didn't use the terminology that the white man, the Romans used. We just said he hung him on a tree because it was made of wood. They had to take a tree, chop it up, and make that. But it was a cross. So the answer to your question is that it was both. He was hung on a tree because it was made out of wood, but the Romans called it a cross. So that's the answer to that question. I hope I answered your question. Was there any more?
There's one last one.
Okay.
Third question is, the forbidden fruit was not a apple according to my great uncle who says it was a fig tree. Mm-hmm. Was the fruit or tree of life a metaphor for something else entirely different?
Yes, sis. It wasn't a fig tree. None of that stuff about the trees, the leaves, the fig, none of that is literal. All of that is symbolic. You understand? And we'll go ahead and get into that, all right? So you're correct. All that is symbolic, no disrespect to your uncle. He's just, he probably was raised in a Christian church with Christian pastors, and they don't teach us the truth about the Bible. You understand? All that language is the same way how they tell you a story about Aesop's fables, where it's a fox and there's a goat or a lion. These are just describing people's characters and using animals to do it. It's the same thing with the book of Genesis. You cannot read the Bible like a white man. You have to read it with the spirit of your people. You understand? And we use analogies and metaphors. You understand? You hear it in the music. The art, like the female artists with R&B, we're using different language to explain things that are happening in our daily lives, right? So let me see. Give me Genesis chapter 2, verse 8.
It's the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden.
Right.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
Y'all ever hear when General Muhammad say that he's the creature of Commander General Yohana? Right? General Muhammad was formed by Commander General Yohana. What does that mean? It means that he was raised and taught by Commander General Yohana. Who he is today is a result of him being formed by Commander General Yohana. That's what this is talking about. So when it says the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, Eden is the planet Earth, right? The garden was like the capital. So like you have the capital of America is Washington, D.C., right? So America would be the land, the capital would be D.C. Eden was the earth, and the garden was the capital. This is where it was the center of power for Adam. Adam was not just the ruler of the garden, he was the ruler of the earth. But that was where his power base was located. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
All right, so we have this tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All right, let's deal with the tree of life. Okay, to show you that this is a metaphor and analogy. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6 through 8. See, the Lord put the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the garden, and he put the knowledge of the tree of life, right?
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Read verse 5, Salaki, I'm sorry. Let's find out what the tree of life is.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right. So this is Moses talking to the children of Israel, saying that he has taught us statutes and judgments, meaning that he has given us the culture that we need to operate in the earth. So this is showing you what the tree of life is. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
And the what?
Your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Right. The tree of life was at the center of the garden. Right. It's what it means is the same way how they have the Constitution, right, and the Declaration of Independence in D.C., right? And out of that, they've established what? Their branches of government. Right? So the root of the tree of America is the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, right? And all the amendments, right? That's the root. And then what grows out of that is the branches of their government. This was the laws and the statutes in our culture was the root of Adam's power. You understand? And that was the tree. It represents the culture and the government that Adam ruled over, and how he did it through his statutes and judgments. Right? When I say his, I mean the Most High. All right? Keep reading.
We shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
The reason why Adam was able to rule over the earth was because the Lord had given him wisdom. You understand? He gave him wisdom to rule everybody else around him. Keep reading, verse 7.
For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Right. Adam was the only man that had the wisdom of God. I don't even want to use that word relationship, because that's what Christians say. I have a personal relationship. But Adam, he was under the authority of the Most High through the wisdom that he obeyed from the Most High. And that wisdom gave him power to subdue nations under him. You say, well, what do you mean nations? He was in the garden by himself. Well, we're going to find out if that's true or not. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law?
So what is the tree of life? Ultimately, the tree of life is the law of life. It's the laws of God. It's the wisdom of God that was given to a particular man that was chosen. You want to say something? Go ahead, Art.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life.
Shall come to what?
Life.
Come to life. When the Lord made Adam a living soul, he gave him this law, and Adam came to life. Give that brother a hand for that scripture. That was perfect. That was Baruch 4 and what? 4 and 1. When if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, if you're an Israelite, when you embrace the commandments, when you embrace your culture, you come to life. Why? Because outside of that, you're dead. You're dead. Was there any more on verse 8?
A lie.
Okay. Give me Proverbs 3 and 13. Hold on 1 second. Let me see here. I'm looking for a particular scripture. Nah, give me I'm sorry. Give me There's a scripture in Proverbs that says she is a tree of life. I don't think I have it. Let me see. Oh, no. Give me Proverbs 3 and 13. You read down to 19. Salakia. I'm gonna show you that the law of God, which is the wisdom of God, is the tree of life. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 13.
Happy
is the man that findeth wisdom.
And
the man that getteth understanding.
Right. Adam was very happy. Why? Because he got power from God, because he got wisdom and understanding. The Lord showed him how things are supposed to go in the earth, on earth as it is in heaven. Go ahead.
Verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Right, that this wisdom, this law is better than getting wealth. A lot of us in our community, we think economics is the way to get us up out of this hell and out of this oppression. You understand? But economics didn't save Puff Daddy. Why? Because he didn't have wisdom. He didn't have the law. The way he was dealing with all that sexual deviancy and perversion and harming his own brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, and being a sexual deviant, his money and power didn't keep him out of punishment. It didn't keep him out of the curses. So economics and having money and gold is not going to free you from the consequences of violating God's laws. Drop down to 18.
If I may say.
No, of course, please.
Just on that subject, same with Adrian Broner. Like he's from
Cincinnati,
and in Cincinnati, he's a god to the people that's from there.
Right.
But you see how he fell from he fell from stardom, and then now you see how he wilding, and now he's an embarrassment essentially.
Right.
Without that wisdom slacking.
But he feels like because he's getting back to the money that God is doing this for him. When really what it is, Captain Zarek shouted out the brotherhood of Dean the Great that's showing brotherhood to Adrian to help him get back on his feet. And we commend that. We commend the brotherhood of Dean the Great. But, Adrian Broner has the ability to fight. He could knock somebody out. He has all the skills for that. You know what I'm saying? He has the money. He's out there. What is he doing though? He's out there paying for, he's making the daughters of Israel whores. He's paying for sex for women. I see him walk up to a few sisters talking about how much. I'll give you 100,000 tonight. But then he's saying he got 10 children. This is a man who has power. He can physically fight. He's getting money for acting, for being a jester on camera, for making a fool out of himself, for being a drunkard, for everybody to laugh at, right? But he doesn't have any wisdom. And he's going, people are watching him to watch him. They're watching him rise to watch him fall again.
Right.
That's what they're all waiting for. They're waiting to see that. People listen, the rise and fall of people is great entertainment for the world. They love to see that. The ups and downs, but ultimately they want to see you destroyed. He has the wealth, but he don't have the wisdom. He don't even have the self-control to not violate a woman by touching her without her permission, her consent. He can go into a ring and fight a grown man, but he can't, withhold himself from letting his lust in those demons dictate how he deals with a woman. You understand? Drop down to verse 18. But let me show you what the tree of life actually is. It's go ahead, Salakia.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 18. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her.
What is the tree of life that to them that lay hold upon her? What are they laying hold upon? Keep reading.
And happy is everyone that retaineth her.
Verse 19.
19. The Lord by wisdom.
By what?
The Lord by wisdom.
So the tree of life is the wisdom of God. It's the wisdom of God. What is the wisdom of God? The wisdom of God is you being told not to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. You obey it and you benefit from it. You don't ever have to feel the pain of not doing it. See, the wisdom of God is, what is wisdom ultimately? Wisdom is experience. But you have two levels or two tiers of experience. You have indirect experience where you don't have to suffer the pain of having to learn it by bumping your head. And then you have direct experience where now you've gained wisdom, but guess what? Scars came with that. Trauma came with that. Suffering came with that. This is ultimately what the tree of life is, and what we're about to find out about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is. The tree of life is the wisdom of God, which is you getting the experience of God without having to suffer the pain of getting that experience or having to spend time and years to get it. Right. He tells you what to do ahead of time. He tells you the future, and you obey it, and you don't suffer. You want to say something, Mark? Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser.
Right.
Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning.
Right.
Verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Get that brother a hand. Go ahead. That's right. The fear of God is you fearing God's power. That word God means power. The fear of the power is the beginning of wisdom. Keep reading.
And the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
And the knowledge of the holy. We were talking about that earlier about you having self-esteem. You have that self-esteem when you have the knowledge of the holy. You have the knowledge of what sets you apart from everybody else. What makes you above everybody else. What's the knowledge of the holy? That God is holy and he called you to be holy. He said, be ye holy, for I am holy. If you have that knowledge, then you have understanding. You're not walking around here deaf, dumb, and blind. You know who you are. You know your identity. You know that being an Israelite, that you have a contract over your head. You have an obligation. You have a vow to keep. She is a tree of life, right?
Verse 19, the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth.
Why is Solomon? Solomon was the son of King David. Well, they say he was the wisest man, the wisest Israelite, and the wisest man in the earth, right? Why is Solomon saying this after saying she's a tree of life, right? to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retains her. You know, when you have a tree, you know, you have a lemon tree or an apple tree, you got to take care of that tree. You got to water it. You got to gather the fruit. You got to trim the dead branch. You got to keep that tree. Same way how you keep a woman. If y'all have read the Proverbs, Solomon refers to wisdom as a woman. Meaning what? The way that you would love a woman, the way that you would be intimate and get into proximity of a woman and deal with her one-on-one and want to become one with her is how you should be with wisdom, with the knowledge of God, with the law. That's why we say our first wife, every man in the truth has more than one wife, or he has at least one wife. Because why? Our first wife is the truth. And everything else comes after that. What is the truth? It's the wisdom of God. And we're supposed to love her, to care for her, right? So happy is everyone that retains her. And then Solomon says what? The Lord by what?
The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth.
Right.
By understanding hath he established the heavens.
What is Solomon saying? He's saying by wisdom the Lord set up his kingdom. If you want to rule and have power, then you got to have wisdom. And you got to have patience. And you got to have faith. Solomon's telling you that by wisdom, all the glory that you see of creation, the Lord did it by wisdom. That's how the Lord rules in heaven and he rules in the earth. And for you to rule in the earth and to be a son of God, then you got to have wisdom. You got to lay hold to the tree of life. And that's what was in the garden. Now, give me we're going to address the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You understand? Give me what is this? What script? I think this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 19. Start at verse 19 and 19. We're going to deal with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what that is. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, go ahead.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, Salaki.
Ecclesiasticus, Salaki. That's my fault, Salaki.
Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
That's what it said in Baruch. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. It's the tree of life. Keep reading.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruits of the tree of immorality.
Immortality,
Salaki.
Immortality. He said if you do those things, you're going to receive the fruit or the product or the benefits of the tree of immortality. Now does this mean what our oppressor teaches us in Christianity, that we're going to live forever? Let me ask y'all a question. Why do we know about King David right now? Why do we know about Solomon right now? Why do we know about Abraham? Why do we know about Adam right now? This is over 6,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. Why? Why do we know about them right now? Somebody in the chat, in the class, tell me, why do we know about them?
Because they received the fruits of the tree of immortality.
Yeah, you see, Caucaside, this brother was getting A's on his exams because he knew how to answer the question. Yes, brother. But why do we know though? That is the answer. You on topic, but give it to me practically. Why do we know about Abraham and Adam and all them? Why? About King David, Solomon, Ezekiel, Isaiah. Why do we know? Go ahead, sis. You have a mic? Yeah, good job, sis. The water.
Because they lived, they died, and we have their history.
We have their record. But okay, that's a good answer, sis. What's the answer that Yawash gave?
They put a precept, Baruch 3 and 9. Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
Okay, but that's not the answer.
Abiyah said because they were recorded.
They were recorded, but go ahead.
Because they served the Lord.
That's true. It's a mixture of those things. Now, okay, for us to be saved from the coming destruction, where do our names have to be written at? Go ahead, Art.
The book of life.
The what?
The book of life.
The book of life. Immortality is not dealing with you physically living forever, okay? The reason why we know about Adam and Enoch and Noah, right? And Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and David and Solomon and all these great men, Jehoshaphat, Hezekiah, is because they follow God and their reputation was recorded. And that's immortal. You understand? Let me help y'all out. There was a movie called Troy. And in the beginning of the movie, it was this dude named, what's the dude's name? Achilles. And there's this big war about to happen, this big battle. And the kings didn't want all their men to die, so they wanted to make the battle between two men. So it was the opposing army, their champion, and they wanted Achilles. So Achilles didn't show up to the fight because he was like, this ain't no big deal for me. They go send a messenger to go get him. And he's up in there laid up with two women, right? You know how white men are, like they stay on that freaky stuff. You know what I mean? Threesomes are unlawful. All right? A woman should not see another woman's nakedness. You understand? You can have more than one wife, but you can't be doing all that sexual deviancy having threesomes. You understand? All right? But he was a Greek and these were the freaks. You dig? So now when the messenger comes to get Achilles, he comes out, he's getting dressed, and there's this young boy standing there. And he was like, what are you about to go do? He said, I'm about to go fight. He said, oh, you about to fight? Whatever the guy's name was. I've heard he's a great warrior. I couldn't do it. I'd be afraid. And you know what Achilles said to him? He said, that's why you'll never live forever. Your name will never be remembered. Achilles didn't care about living or dying. He cared about being immortal. He cared about his name living on after he died. This is what this is talking about, the fruit of the tree of immortality, meaning that your name goes on after you're dead, and the record of your name is your reputation. That's what this is talking about. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom.
Is what?
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom.
Is all wisdom. Go ahead.
And in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
What's wisdom?
The performance of the law.
You performing the law of God is wisdom. We read that in Deuteronomy 4. We've been reading it all in Proverbs. The performance of the law is wisdom. Keep reading.
And the knowledge of his omnipotency.
Oh, listen, that big old college word, omnipotency, it just means the knowledge of his power. The fear of God, it's the knowledge of his power. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 21. If a servant say to his master, I will not do as it pleases thee.
No, drop that. Drop down to 22, Salakia.
22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
The what?
The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Now we're getting to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. So the tree of life is wisdom. But the knowledge of wickedness is what? It's not wisdom. It's the opposite of the tree of life. It's the knowledge of good and evil. What's the knowledge of the good? You say, well, how could it be good and evil? Y'all think good and evil is like this. No. When you smoke weed, it feels what? What does it feel? Go ahead.
Good.
It feels good. To be in an orgy with 5 women and you're the only man, it feels what?
Good.
It feels good. You understand? Listen, a lot of things that are pleasurable, they feel good, but they're what? They're evil. See, in the scriptures, evil is not like a state of wrong. Evil is punishment. See, what feels good to you, but if it's against God, yeah, you're free to choose to do what you want to do, but you're not free to choose your consequence. See, for the LGBTQ community, for all my friends in the alternative lifestyle, you being, abusing yourself with mankind, it feels good to you. But guess what? You have the knowledge of the good that it feels good to you. You feel free to do it. But guess what ends up happening to you? You get the knowledge of evil as well. What's the evil for a man abusing himself with another man? What's the evil or the punishment that the Lord put in the earth for a man laying with another man? Give me that Romans 2 that received the recompense within themselves. Give me that. Go ahead, Ak.
That man would receive probably AIDS or HIV.
He received AIDS, HIV, and y'all must have forgot monkeypox, because monkeypox was going on too. for all that sexual deviancy. The knowledge of, okay, even for a sister go out there and she's hopping from rod to rod, and now she's suffering with STDs. You understand? Now she's catching diseases. It was good because, you know, you was hurt. You didn't have no man, and you in your whole phase, and you don't want to get married to your 30s and 40s because you want to live your best life. And now it was good to you going on them yachts and, you know, putting the bottle on your head and bumping Sexy Red and Cardi B. But now, because you got 100 bodies, no man wants to make you a wife. You've had a whore's forehead. You didn't have no shame. And now nobody wants to make you a wife. Why? Because it's that's your punishment now. You was good to be used in that time period when you was in the prime of your of your development physically, and you felt like you could do what you want to do. Oh, now I done got all the hoeing out of me. Now I'm ready to settle down. Nope. Because why? You was never any man's. It was just their turn. And now it's turned on you. That's the knowledge of good and evil. You got me that? Go ahead. Yeah, that verse 26. Give me that.
Don't come. Book of Romans chapter 1, verse 26. For this cause God gave them up to vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
You know, a large majority of domestic violence happens in the alternative lifestyle, the LGBTQ community, especially with women. I seen a video the other day where the women were saying like it's worse to date women than it is to deal with the men. These are lesbians who say, I gave up on men a long time ago, but dating these women is hell. Gave up their natural use, which is to be used by a man sexually, right? That's why you were built the way you were built, right? It wasn't for a woman to become a carpet muncher. It was for a man to put his rod in you. Why? To be fruitful and multiply. So you left the natural use to do that which is against nature. All that scissoring. All right? Keep reading.
27. And likewise also the men,
right,
leaving the natural use of the woman.
Right. You left what God gave us, that matrix. You know, in the movie The Matrix, you're trying to get out the matrix. In the truth, we're trying to get into the matrix. Right. We're trying to dive into the matrix. And we want to see all the source code of the matrix. We trying to discover the mysteries of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? We trying to enter into them gates of righteousness. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. Burned in their lust one toward another.
Right. The brother, you hear these brothers now, oh, I'm getting tired of box. What? No sweat. Bring the box over here. I'll open up the box. You ain't got to open up the box. I'll open up the box and get all the gifts and pleasantries that are inside that box. You tired of the box? No sweat. Bring the boxes over here. You know, I'll be U-Haul. Bring me all the boxes. I got a 26-foot truck and the dolly. Bring all the boxes to my house. I'll take all the boxes. Go ahead.
Men with men working that which is unseemly.
Right. For a man, men with men working that which is unseemly. That's an unseemly work.
Right.
Unseemly is like it's not appropriate. It's unseemly. You know, you see a woman out here walking with the dress above her butt cheeks with a fishnet on and a thong. That's unseemly. A horse has his ass out. A pig has his ass out. Right. A dog has his ass out. You can see a dog with his balls, or if it's a female, the dog's box. That is for animals. Your tail should not be uncovered unless you're an animal, unless you're a beast. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Okay. And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat.
Right. They received in themselves that recompense. You know what recompense is? They received that check, that paycheck. You understand? Of their error. And it was fit that they received it. So that HIV, that AIDS, that monkeypox, that is the knowledge. The knowledge of the good was that you had the freedom to do what you want to do. But now you got to also deal with and eat the knowledge of evil. Now you got to eat that. Now you over here taking these weird ass pills and medications just to, to keep up with this wicked lifestyle that you live. All right. So yeah, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. It's knowledge, but it's not wisdom. You have the knowledge on how to sell drugs in the hustle. And it feel good while you buying the furs, you buying the cars, you buying all the Jordans that you want, you buying all the chains that you want, and then the RICO case hit, the feds come kick down your door, and now you're doing 20 football numbers, 25 years. You have the knowledge of the good, but now you got to eat the knowledge of the evil too. You know what I'm saying? People like Polite and Nature Boy. You know what I'm saying? You come up with all this strange knowledge about zodiacs and living on the earth and defecating on the ground and using that as fertilizer, and you over here abusing the women, and then you end up abusing the men. You leave the natural use of the woman, and now Nature Boy's having sex with the men and the women. Good night. And then the feds come, and now you serving a life sentence, man, for the harm that you did to your people, to your own people. It was good while it lasted, but that punishment is coming. That's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? Give me verse Ecclesiastes 19-25. Jump down to 25.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 19, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
There is an exquisite subtlety.
Right. Exquisite subtlety means like it's like hustlers. They know how to hustle. They know how to game. It's exquisite and it's subtle. You understand? But it's still the knowledge of wickedness. It ain't the wisdom of God, but it is a knowledge. It is subtle. Right? Keep reading.
And there is one that turneth aside to make judgment appear.
Right. It says, no, I think you said the same as unjust. I think you can read that. Read that.
There is an exquisite subtlety, and the same is unjust.
Meaning that you got this knowledge, this understanding, you a hustler, you a scammer, but what you're doing is unjust. You know how to hustle the banking system and or like Bernie Madoff. You take people's 401ks. You say you put into these bigger investments and you scam everybody out of their money and they don't get no type of reparation for what happened. It's exquisite what you did. You set this whole thing up, sound like you were smart and intelligent, but you're really just a scammer. You a scammer. You get people's information and credit cards and you scamming people. It's exquisite. It's subtle, but it's unjust. All right? Go ahead.
And there is one that turneth aside to make judgment appear.
Right. You turn aside from what God said to do, and now God brings judgment. He brings the punishment. Keep reading.
And there is a wise man that justifieth in judgment.
Right. Then there's the wise man who gets justified in judgment. That when the punishment falls, it don't touch him because he was wise to avoid that knowledge of wickedness, which is not wisdom. Okay? Now, so that's an explanation of the tree of the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If y'all got any questions, put them in the chat. We're not done yet. Go ahead, Art.
If I could, on verse 26, I had a question.
Go ahead.
There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit. So when it says he's hanging down his head sadly, it's kind of like, sorry, he don't really care.
He playing a role. He's trying to get you to show him sympathy and empathy so he can play you. It's just game. He's just gaming you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times brothers will do that too. They ain't trying to work, you know what I'm saying? So they get with a woman like, yo, man, I'm going through a whole lot. She's like, okay, so you can come stay with me. You know what I mean? Then he dropped that rod in her and then it was all to get inside the house. She cooking every day. He eating the food, all that stuff. But that's all he trying to do. Now it ain't a sin. But he hanging his head low, sad. He just don't want, he ain't trying to work. I let him stay up here. He ain't doing a goddamn thing. Well, he just, listen. He seduced you. That's it. That's all that means, just gaming. Or it could be like a brother acting like he's down on his luck just to make how you drop your guard for him to get what you got in your house. You know what I mean? That's all. It could be for a brother. He acting like he down on his luck. You in there got stuff going on in your house. You let him come stay with you, and then he rob you. You know what I'm saying? He act that way to get an edge on you. That's what it means. All right. We got like 12 minutes left, so I want to break down this real quick what the trees represent. So in the garden, to the sister's question, The tree of life is the wisdom and the law of God, and that Adam was given that to be able to rule over all the other nations. Come on, Yaja. And the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was basically the culture of the other nations. You understand? And their knowledge of wickedness. And it might have felt good to take on their culture, but then, what ended up happening to Adam and Eve. Okay, let's go ahead and read that real quick. Give me Genesis chapter 3, verse 2 through 10. You can come back out if you want. And then and this, we're gonna push through it. All right.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter
3, verse 2 through 10. We're gonna read through it. I'll probably comment on just on each verse. Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 2.
Right.
Oh, then read verse 1 then, Salakia. Tripping. Yeah, that's what I need, Salakia.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made.
Now this is talking about not a actual animal. It's talking about a man, a nation. This is a man representing a nation. And out of these nations that Adam was surrounded by, they were the most subtle. We just read that there's a subtlety that's exquisite, but that same person is unjust. This person that's talking to Adam's wife he's unjust. He's a snake. Keep reading.
And he said unto the woman, yea, have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
That's how you know a person's a snake, is when they're trying to get you to question the truth. They're trying to get you to consider something else outside of God, outside of your culture. Keep reading.
Come, verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Now, what does that mean? Now, there were many trees. There are things that other nations have that are not unlawful for us to deal with, like some of their foods. If they're making, goat, beef, fish, we can eat their stuff. If what they're if like a skill set that they have, like how to do a particular skill set, you can learn from that. If it don't go against our laws, you can eat from those trees. You can eat the fruit of those trees. You can benefit off of how they do certain things, as long as it doesn't go against your culture. That's why he says you can eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, because these trees represent nations. They represent families. That's why you have the term family tree. You understand? Keep reading.
Okay, verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right. This fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden is talking about this particular concept or culture of taking on the culture of other nations. Now, you might have a nation out there that makes and they have good blacksmiths, and you use that to get your metal, your swords made. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But those same blacksmiths might make idols. You don't take on their idols. You use them for what they're good for. Solomon did that. When he built the temple, he dealt with multiple nations that have the temple built. But then he messed up. Why? Because he dealt with their women, and then he began to build temples to their gods. But when he was building the Lord's temple, him dealing with like the Egypt and these other nations to get what they had as far as like their timber or their gold, that wasn't wrong. That's eating the fruit of the trees of these other nations. You're taking their resources to benefit what you're doing in your government. That's not wrong. But to go and worship their gods, now you're eating the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, right? You're taking on someone else's culture. Keep reading.
Okay. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it.
Right.
Neither shall ye touch it,
right.
lest ye die.
Lest ye die. And we know this death is not a physical death, right? It was a spiritual death. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
Now this serpent, this was a man of color at the time, but this spirit that was in this serpent is the same spirit that's in the spirit of our oppressor, of the Caucasian. You understand? He's a liar and the father of it. God said you're gonna die. He said you're not gonna die. Keep reading.
Go verse 5. For God doeth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Now you feel like you done got some knowledge. Oh, I know what's going on behind the curtain, behind the scenes. I got the secret knowledge. Your eyes are going to be open and you'll be as what?
Then and ye shall be as gods.
And that was the whole thing. That's the birthday celebration. It's about you making yourself a power. You making yourself a God without acknowledging the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? There's just some secret knowledge or some secret path to living forever. That's what the white man is chasing. That's why he's dealing with AI and trying to build robots to put his consciousness inside of a robot, because he wants to be immortal, because he thinks that's what immortality is. But as an Israelite, we know what immortality is. It's not us living forever like vampires for 1,000 years. It's us living a life that's righteous, and our reputation lives beyond us, and people read about how we lived and they use that as inspiration to live righteous as well. Or they aspire to be as a righteous man because of how you lived. Like Officer Karab, he's immortal in the ISUPK. Why? Because he lived his life. He founded the school here in the city of Killeen, and he ran his race to the end. So now he's memorialized amongst us forever. In the work that we do, we want to be and operate in that same spirit, because why? He lives forever in us. And when Christ comes back, he gonna be first to rise. You digging what I'm saying? Keep going. Salakia.
And ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Mm-hmm. See, he ran a smooth game. It was exquisite subtlety. You'll be as gods, knowing good and evil. Yeah, the angels know that you can live go against what God says and that you're gonna get punished for it. Why? Because the angels is gonna punish you. They know. But guess what? But they're not getting punished. They're issuing out the punishment. You'll be as the angels. Now you'll know the good and the evil, but you'll be on the receiving end of the evil, which is the death, which is the curses. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
They took on the culture of who they were around. When they were made to, they dealt with the pressure of equality. That serpent came and gave peer pressure and said, hey, we're all supposed to be equal. You could become equal with God. He just don't want you to know what he knows, to where you'll be a God too. It was the peer pressure. It was the pressure of equality. And really, he ran the game because God was trying to make them the rulers and be superior, but they fell for the okie doke and became equal. But then really, there is no equal, is it? There ain't no equality. You end up being on the bottom of society. You turn on God to be equal with another nation, and now you're good for nothing but to be what? Trampled over by the feet of men. And that's what happened. Adam was the ruler of the earth, and he just became a regular, blue collar worker. Imagine that you're the president of the United States, and now you're working in the mechanic shop for $10 an hour. That's what happened to Adam. Adam was ruling everything. Everybody was bringing their resources and goods to him. He was organizing the government, how things operated and worked. And then he took on the politics and the culture of another nation, and he was overthrown by it, by his woman. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 7. And the eyes of both of them were open. And they knew that they were naked.
They knew what?
That they were naked.
We're gonna explain what that naked means. Go ahead.
And they sewed fig leaves together.
This was not a garment, sisters that make garments. This was not a garment. Keep going.
And made themselves aprons. Verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden.
And they knew that they were naked, and they heard the voice of God. They heard the voice of the prophets, and they knew that they were naked, and they hid themselves from the presence of God. They knew that what they had done had put them out of power with the Most High. So they hid themselves amongst the trees. What are the trees? The trees represent the nations. And we're going to deal with this naked thing too. Give me the trees represent the nations. The leaves represent their customs or the culture of those nations, right? And the fruit represents the knowledge and the works or the actions produced from that knowledge. You understand? So let's prove that the trees are nations. Give me Ezekiel 31, We're going to push through this real quick, y'all. Hope y'all have patience with me, man. chapter 31, verse 2. I'm going to show you that these trees that were in the garden were nations. All right?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 31, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude. Whom art thou like in thy greatness?
Keep going.
Verse 3. Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches.
So he's talking to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, the ruler of Egypt, and he's saying, who are you like? And he's comparing him, it says, to the Assyrian who was a cedar in Lebanon. But this is really talking about Adam. Keep reading.
And with a shadowing shroud, and of an high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs.
Meaning that of all the families of the earth, Adam was the tallest tree. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 4. The waters made him great.
The
deep set him up on high with her rivers running round about his plant.
This is talking about the economy. He was on top of the economy, all the wealth, right? The currency, right? The flow of currency was coming to him. Keep reading.
And sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field.
And this wasn't like Ronald Reagan with a trickle-down economy. He was sending that wealth back into the earth. He was organizing the earth where he was the strongest and had the wealth, but everybody was eating. Everybody was being watered and being fed. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field.
Right, because of his wisdom on how to govern his government, the wisdom of his government, he reigned above everybody else. He was above all people that were upon the face of the earth. Keep reading.
And his boughs were multiplied.
Right.
And his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth.
This is talking about his branches of government. His reach extended all over the earth because of the wisdom of God. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And all the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs. And under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young.
People came up under his rulership and his government to find safety, to live and dwell under his rulership. Keep going.
And under his shadow dwelt all great nations.
Dwell what?
All great nations.
So the beasts, the fowls, the trees, these represented nations. So the serpent, right, which is a beast, represented a nation.
Right.
Keep reading.
Verse 7. Thus was he fair in his greatness, in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters.
Right. You ever heard that Psalm verse 1 that blessed is he that meditates on the law of God day and night. He's like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. The rivers of waters that where his root was planted was the wisdom of God. It was the tree of life. It made him strong. You understand? It made his government strong. This is talking about Adam. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 8. The cedars in the garden of God.
The what?
The cedars in the garden of God.
The trees, a cedar is a tree. The trees in the garden of God, which is the Garden of Eden, read.
Could not hide him.
Meaning that there was nobody there that was greater than him. You couldn't block his power and block his greatness. The whole earth knew who was organizing and running the earth. Keep reading.
The fir trees was not like his boughs.
Right. The fir tree represents a nation or a family. Go ahead.
And the chestnut trees were not like his branches.
Yeah, this other nation over here who had a government, it was nothing like Adam's government. Keep reading.
Nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty.
Nor any what?
Was like unto him in his beauty.
Right. And what was his beauty? The wisdom of God. Right. No nation that was near Adam had the power that he had. He was ruling over all nations. Keep reading.
Verse 9. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him.
Now, how can a tree envy? These nations envied Adam, especially that nation of serpents. They envied Adam. The devil envied Adam. And they wanted him to fall, to lose power. Why? Because they envied his seat. And how did they get to him? Through his woman. And Adam fell, and he fell from power of being a ruler of the planet Earth because his wife got deceived by another nation. Drop down to 16 and read to 18.
Verse 16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall.
Oh,
when I cast them down to hell with them that.
So clearly, Adam got cast down to hell. The hell wasn't a place of fire. It was a place of torment. But what was it? It was that Adam was in power. He was at the top of the food chain, and now he's just a regular civilian. Imagine a police officer, right? He's out in the streets. He's arresting people. He's putting them in jail, and then he get caught for bribery or for corruption, and now he got to go to the prison that he put other people in. That's how it looked when he fell. It's like, oh, here come Adam. Now he just like us. Imagine that. You was ruling everything and everybody. Now you just a regular poor man. He got cast down to hell. Because why? Hell is a what? What is hell?
A condition.
A condition. Keep reading.
When I cast him down to hell with them that descended into the pit. And all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth.
Why were all these other families and nations comforted? Because why? Now, God's chosen person, his chosen man, he ain't ruling no more. Now what? Now we can get power. Now we can have our time to rule the earth. So they were comforted in the nether parts of the earth, meaning that now they can set up their own governments and run things how they want to run them and fight for power. That's what's going on right now. China is trying to move against the U.S. Russia's trying to move against the U.S. Right? All these nations are vying for power. Why? Because Christ isn't sitting on his throne and the Israelites aren't ruling under Christ. So there's a vacuum of power now. Now it's a competition. Whereas before, there wasn't no competition. We were following God. Couldn't nobody move against us. Couldn't nobody move against Adam. Adam moved against Adam. Adam moved against God. That's why he lost his seat. For envying the devil, for envying the nations and the dogs that he was supposed to rule over, man. Keep reading.
Verse 17. They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword.
Right. Now, Adam falling, it caused chaos in the earth. It's like the white man being in power right now. It's war everywhere. Now everybody's dying. Now there's no peace in the earth because there's no firm hand to keep things in order. Everything is in chaos and disorder. Keep reading.
And they that were his arm that dwelt under his shadow in the midst of the heathen.
Of the what?
Of the heathen.
Wait, heathens are being talked about in the garden of God? Heathens are being discussed? I thought we were all the same. And they that were his arm. You ever heard how the Lord say, the wicked who is my sword? Adam was using other nations to take out other nations.
Good night.
Yeah. Oh, they don't want to follow? Go to war with them. Take them out. So that was who was with his arm, who he used to do his work. Nations that were obedient to him. Now what it says, now they dwell under his shadow in the midst of the heathen. The people that were subservient to his power, now they fell too. Now nobody's respecting anything that Adam set up. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 18. To whom art thou thus like in the glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden?
But what God is basically saying here, we're going to finish reading it, but what God is basically saying is, he's saying, if I took down Adam, who I chose for coming against me, Pharaoh, what do you think I'm going to do to you? That's the point of all this. If I took down Adam, you think I'm going to take you down? This gets repeated in Romans 9. I raised you up in power, what? To show my power in the earth.
Right.
Pharaoh became great because God allowed it. But he'll let the tree get all big and tall. And then he put an axe to it. It's that simple. To watch you fall. All right? So keep reading. We're going to finish this off. He's talking to Pharaoh about what happened with Adam and how he's going to, because why? At this point, Pharaoh becomes the ruler of the planet. He took that seat. Go ahead.
Okay. Yet shalt thou be brought down with the trees of Eden unto the nether parts of the earth. Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised with them that be slain by the sword.
The uncircumcised are the heathen. Go ahead.
This is Pharaoh and all his multitude.
And all his multitude. Now, we're going to deal with these leaves real quick, with these fig leaves, right? This ain't dealing with no apples. This ain't dealing with no figs. This ain't dealing with no physical trees. We're going to show you what this is. Give me Exodus 32 and 23. Remember, they said that Adam and Eve knew that they were naked. Let's see what naked is in the Bible, in the scriptures. All right, and then we're gonna be done. I ain't gonna go into the fruit. Y'all should understand what that is. The fruit is, what comes out of like the fruits of the works of darkness. Is, the fruit of white supremacy is blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians dying, abortions, mass incarceration, drug dealing, drug addiction. This is the fruit of the white man being in charge. That's the fruit of his tree. That's why Christ said either make the tree good and the fruit good, or the tree evil and the fruit evil. It's what comes out of that government, out of that society, right? But this is dealing with the nakedness. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verse 23. For they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us.
This is the Israelites after they came out of Egypt talking to Aaron, which was Moses number 2. Keep going.
Which shall go before us for as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
Right. They said, make us gods which shall go before us. Right. Saying that we don't know what happened to Moses. He went up to the mountain to receive the law, to receive the tree of life. But they down there waiting. They had no patience. That's why to get the kingdom, you have to have faith and patience. It's the faith and patience of the saints. You got to follow orders and be patient to get the kingdom. The Lord was getting them prepared to receive the kingdom, which was Canaan, to take back what Adam lost. The land of Canaan was the land of Israel. The land of Israel was the capital. It was the Garden of Eden. And now heathens inhabited that land because why? Adam gave it up. He gave up his seed. He left his first estate. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 24. And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
See, Aaron talking like, they gave me their gold, I threw it into the fire, and then this calf disappeared. This calf that they're worshiping was the goddess Hathor that they worshiped in Egypt. They just went back to doing what they was doing when they was in Egypt, instead of being ready to receive this new life, this breath of life. They went back to the ways that had them in slavery. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked.
When Moses saw what?
That the people were naked.
So what does it mean to be naked then? I'm asking everybody that's in the class still. Some people then broke off. Everybody in the class, what does it mean to be naked? Moses saw that they were naked. Does that mean that it was butt naked? Go ahead.
They were uncovered, unprotected.
Give her a hand. They were uncovered, and to be uncovered means you lack protection. You didn't have any protection. Why? Because God wasn't going to protect you and you worshiping some cow, some graven image. The people were naked. They lost their culture. They lost the protection of God. Keep reading.
For Aaron had made them naked.
Aaron made them naked. The leadership made them naked by following what they wanted. The person that you have authority over, you ain't supposed to do what they want. You're supposed to lead them and direct them. The person that you have authority over, is a reason for that. Because the person that's in authority is better than the people that they're following. Salakia, the person in authority is better than the people that they're serving. And your service to the people that you're better than is to be a servant unto them, to show them the right path to walk in, to guide them into the truth, to keep them what? Protected with the truth. And he said, for Aaron made them naked. Go ahead.
Unto their shame amongst their enemies.
That's what Adam and Eve felt. When they took on the culture of the nations that were around them, they knew that they were naked, and what did they do? They covered themselves with fig leaves. Now, bring up them pictures for me, brother. I'm going to show you what that is in modern day America. Hiding amongst the trees and covering yourselves with fig leaves. This right here, this is Malachi Z. York. Right? Because we didn't have our culture and identity as being the true Jews and the Israelites of biblical antiquity, the descendants of the Israelites of biblical antiquity, we took on the culture of Egypt. So these are Israelites doing what? Covering themselves with the culture of Egypt because they've lost their identity. Give me some more. No, I think it's the other way, right?
That was the last one. I might need to
go. Okay, go back. Okay, go to the. Yeah, you can go that way. That's fine. Salakia, right here. Go to the other one. Right here, you have People that are black people right here who are what? They're wearing flags. They're putting on MAGA hats. They're saying, God bless America. Why? Because Donald Trump's in power and they don't have, Christ is not king. They don't know their identity. So what? They've been called African Americans. They're hiding themselves in the culture of America. They're waving flags, wearing MAGA hats, thinking that now what? I can hide amongst the trees. See, to be holy, you stand out. That's why Christ said, let your light shine. For you to be an Israelite, you have to represent who you are. You can't be ashamed of the Dawadah, the shield of David. You can't be ashamed to wear your fringes with your border of blue. You can't be ashamed to say, I don't date white women. I don't date Chinese women. I only date black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women. You can't be ashamed of your culture. You can't be ashamed to say, yeah, my husband has more than one wife. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not afraid of that. That's my culture. They were ashamed. They knew that the people that they were living amongst were not like them, and they were affected by peer pressure, the pressure of equality. I can't be holy in the midst of these people. I don't want to get found out. I got to blend in. That's what happened. So here in America, they putting on MAGA hats and waving flags. Go ahead. In fact, make it big up the screen. This one right here, and go to the next picture. They can still hear me. Go to the next picture. Right here, you got black Americans taking on what culture? The culture of the sons of Ishmael. You see that brother with the red beard? That's what Arabs do. Listen, Islam is fine for the sons of Ishmael, for the Arabs, but that's you trying to blend in amongst the trees. You're not a Muslim. Ishmael didn't receive the covenant. Isaac did. That's you trying to blend in and sew fig leaves and cover yourself with the culture of a whole other people. Give me another photo. There you go again, Islam, right? Those are black people. Now you see this brother right here. What he got on his chest? The three crosses, an American flag, and Trump, and some type of military camouflage. Why? Because he's trying to what? Blend in. Right. Even his outfit is leaves, ain't it? That's like what you hide, what you go hunting. Right. You got to hide in the forest. Even his outfit is leaves. That's the apron of the fig leaves. Keep going. Look at this brother. What sign? This brother is in the midst of what? White people, Caucasians. He's in the midst of the trees of another family, another nation. And what is he saying? Make America great again. Hiding amongst the trees. He's hiding from the prophets of God. We say that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. America is Babylon. He hears the voice. They hear some of them corners. We make ourselves fools for Christ, but they hear the voice of God in the cool of the day. We out there rising early on them corners, raising our voice like a trumpet, showing our people their sins, and they hide and say, nah, you're racist. God ain't racist. God loves everybody. And they hide amongst the people that hate them, that wanted to see them fall in the first place. Keep going.
I think that might be the last.
That was it? Oh, that was the last one on that end? Okay, no sweat. Let's get up out of it. You know what I'm saying? What was the what I have you holding? Give me we almost done, y'all. Give me Isaiah chapter 30. And this is what the sister had brought out. When you're naked, you're uncovered, you're unprotected. Your culture and and the laws of God is the thing that protects you. You understand? But we've always been tempted by the nations that are around us. We've always envied the devil. We've always envied these other nations and try to be like them. When we went to God and said, give us a king so that we might be like the other nations. What were we asking for? We were asking for their government, their political setup. When you want to vote Democrat or Republican, you're choosing their branches. You're trying to find shade under their tree. When the Lord is our shade. What did it say? The sun shall not smite thee by day or night. He's our shade. He's our covering. When we left Egypt, he had a cloud above our heads, covering us and protecting us. Why? It was the angels in their vehicle watching over us. A cloud by day and a fire by night. We were protected by God's military, which is the Alahayim, the angels. But we look at the U.S. military and their tanks and their planes and their missiles, and we feel like that's our protection. But no, you're trusting in Egypt. Go ahead and read.
Okay. The book of Salaki.
Just read it. Yeah, verse 1. You ain't got to pull up the scripture. Just read it.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Right. Adam and Eve was rebellious. Go ahead. Destruction. That's what woe is. You can leave it at it. Just keep reading.
Saith the Lord,
Uh-huh.
that take counsel, but not of me.
That do what?
That take counsel, but not of me.
Counsel is essential. Sometimes you be following your own counsel, trying to get yourself out of a jam, and you need the counsel of God, the counsel of the prophets. You understand? When you're rebellious when you disregard the counsel of the prophets, the counsel of God. Keep reading.
And that cover with a covering.
That do what?
That cover with a covering.
Right. That's what Adam and Eve did. They covered themselves with the covering, but what?
But not of my spirit.
But not of my spirit, not of my vibe, not of the culture that I gave you. You saw them brothers in that MAGA gear. They're covered with the spirit of white supremacy, the spirit of Donald Trump, the spirit of the devil. They're trying to hide because they're ashamed, because they know that they don't have any protection. Why? Because they're not repenting to their power, to their God. Keep reading.
That's like it. That they may add sin to sin.
What's adding sin to sin? We're already in sin because we're not keeping the law. Now you want to, when they say add insult to injury, right. You've already injured the Most High and disrespected him, but now you want to add an insult. Not only are you going to not repent, but you're going to double down and say, well, now, we don't know what happened to Moses. We don't know where Christ is at. You know what I'm saying? This brother, Commander Johnny Yohana, we don't know where he come from. So let us make us a God to lead us through this wilderness. Make our own God, the God of the Egyptians. You want Donald Trump to be your God now. You wearing Trump on your shirt, and then you call yourself a Christian. No, man, you serve Satan, bro. Keep reading.
Oh God. Verse 2. That walk to go down to Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And have not asked at my mouth.
You didn't ask the Lord, was this the right thing to do? Should I go and do this? You didn't go to the prophets of God and say, is it wisdom for me to go ahead and vote? You didn't know voting is a sin. Voting is how Christ got killed. They held a vote. And who set the vote up? Pontius Pilate, the white man, to choose between Barabbas and Christ. And a vote got our king killed. The Lord didn't tell you to be part of a democracy. Listen, Christ ain't holding a democracy. This is a totalitarian government, man. Christ is doing what the Most High says, and that's what goes. There ain't no power ain't shared. It's transferred. This ain't a negotiation. The Lord ain't negotiating with us. Keep reading.
Oh God. To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Read 2 again.
Okay. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth.
Right. You ain't checked in with Commander Johnny Yohana to see what we should do right now while they're doing all this gerrymandering and redistricting. You ready to go out there and start protesting and marching and about getting our vote back because they're taking away civil rights. We never had those rights in the first place. The Asians got the hate bill before, and we never got a hate bill. You ain't asked Commander Johnny Yohana what we should do. You didn't ask at the mouth of the prophets. You over here trusting the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or Bitcoin. That ain't going to save you. That walk down to going to Egypt, go ahead. And have not
asked in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Uh-huh.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Like you thinking that because you represent MAGA and that you voting Republican, that's going to save you. It ain't going to save you. Everybody in Trump's cabinet is white. They embarrassed Marcus Rubio. He went up there speaking Spanish for Trump, and then Peter Hegseth got up there and said, "Look, I don't know all that Spanish. I speak American." Good night. That Mark Rubio is covered in the leaves, and he was like, he's naked. I'm American. I don't speak all that Spanish stuff. I speak American English. And Trump was like laughing about it. Naked. Keep reading, verse 3.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
Right. You trusting in Trump is gonna leave you with shame. Our brother Cyrus Belton, life tooken. Right now we got Carmelo, or is it Anthony Carmelo or Carmelo Anthony?
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony with this case with Austin Metcalf, all white jury. How many times do you have to be disappointed? You know, it's like we're like that woman that's in an abusive relationship. She getting beat on by her man. She come outside with a black eye. They be like, girl, what's going on? Nothing, I failed. Everybody like, damn, bro. Sis, what's going on? I'm good, I'm straight. He okay? You know, we just got to, you know, it's all right. He all right. You steadily getting whooped on. And then when we come and say, hey, you got to leave him. Nah, I can't leave him. I can't. What's it called? Stockholm Syndrome?
Sir.
You're in Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we're in a abusive relationship with America, with our oppressor. And we keep hoping that he's going to change, and he's not going to change. I remember when Rodney King happened. I was in high school. I remember all the video. I remember how that's when 24-hour news began to happen. Before that, news was like for like 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. They have TV shows all during the day. That's when the 24-hour news stations happen. And that court case was getting blasted all over America. I remember Judge Ito, a Moabite judge. And the video showed them beating his brother, man. And they showed the whites and the blacks at the hearing of the verdict. Not guilty. And then Rodney King come out and say, because that's when the riots happened, right? We're like, man, this is an injustice. They rioted all over L.A. And Rodney King come out and say, you know, it's crazy. They whoop his ass. Then they get him to come out and try to calm it down. Well, can't we all just get along? We didn't learn then. And now we've seen this with Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, and we're wondering what's going to take place. We know what's going to take place. It's the same thing that took place when they would grab a brother and say that he winked or whistled at a white woman, and they bring him to court with an all-white jury. And if they didn't lynch him before the court trial, they definitely lynched him afterwards. Nobody brought to trial for what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We know who we're dealing with, but you want to say God loves everybody. So the Lord is saying what? Therefore shall the what?
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be ashamed.
Uh-huh.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
What is the shadow of Egypt? After all we went through today in the book of Ezekiel, the shadow of Egypt is what gets casted by the branches of the tree. What are the branches of America? It's the branches of government. The executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. We're not going to find justice in any of those branches. We're trying to trust in their shadow and their protection, and we have no protection. We're naked amongst the trees. Give me that in Lamentations that we sought for a nation that couldn't save us, and then we're going to end on that. Straight up. You want wisdom? You want wisdom in the side of the nations, in the midst of the trees? You better hold on to that tree of life. You better hold on to your culture. You better hold on to the laws of God, the doctrine of life.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17.
Right.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain hope.
Right.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right. That shade, you might as well be out in the sun. Us trusting in America is like a white man being on the beach with no sunscreen. Fried. We getting cooked. Straight up. The sun is smiting us. Give me Psalms 91. Actually, is there any more? Give me 18 before we leave this. And then we're going to end on Psalms 91. Go
Verse
ahead.
18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
Right. That brother, Cyrus Belton, they hunted that brother. He couldn't go. They accused him of stealing a 89-cent bottle of water. He had a backpack. He didn't steal anything. They started chasing him. He ran, and they hunted him down and murdered him. And they were found not guilty, like as if they shot a deer or shot a boar. or shot a gazelle. Don't worry, brother. I'm gonna get that zapper. I got the zapper for the house. I was just testing it out first. Get that big zapper. These flies is ridiculous. Karab used to call them the pestilence. This damn pestilence. All right. Go ahead. Our end is what?
Our end is near.
Uh-huh.
Our days are fulfilled.
Uh-huh.
For our end is come.
Our end is come, man. Carmelo Anthony, we don't know what his end's gonna be. I pray the Lord free that brother. I pray the Lord move on them wicked devils that sit on that jury, and he give them the mind of a good white man and a good white woman, and they abide by the law of stand your ground. As he was assaulted by Hunter and Austin Metcalf and all the people that was with him, and he defended himself. But we know that the white privilege and the law that applies to them don't apply to us. And Carmelo might have to be the sacrifice for us to realize that, to finally come to the conclusion that we have no safety or protection here. Give me Psalms 91. We're gonna close out. Psalms 91, verse 1. Go ahead. You can post this one.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High,
right,
shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Right. The secret place, these schools in our Command General Hunter has raised up these schools in all the cities, but it's a secret place, man. You understand? It's why is it a secret place? Because it's where God's protection is at. It ain't it's out in the open because we out there in the streets saying to come here, but everybody don't want to, they don't, come to class for what? How is class going to fix our problems? Good night. It's the tree of life. And here's the tree of life. If you dwell in the secret place of the Most High, you're going to abide under the what?
Under the shadow of the Almighty.
But you want to trust in American politics. You want to trust in the shadow of Egypt, in the shadow of Pharaoh. You want to trust in his three branches of government. You want to be up under his shade. You want to put on, the leaves of a Democrat, the leaves of a Republican, the leaves of a Christian, the leaves of a Muslim practicing Islam. The leaves of a FBA, foundational Black American. All these different things are the names that your oppressor gave you, or ideas that he came up with. You're still having to rely on reparations and rely on him to be just. But whom the Lord has made crooked, who can make straight? Our recompense, our reparation is going to come from the Most High in Christ when he destroys all these nations, man. We'll never get it from the white man because he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Keep reading.
Verse 2. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress.
I'm not looking for no protection outside of the Most High. Keep reading.
My God, in him I will trust.
Yeah, I'm not gonna trust in what's that Governor Newsom out there in California who's saying, I never thought of my day. I see this kind of racism. You listen, man. We as Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we really are the sheep. We just dumb and we'll follow anything. But we don't want to follow the good shepherd that lays down his life for us. Yeah, Christ laid down his life for us as a nation, but he also raised up men to be good shepherds as well. And Commander Johnny Hanna has laid down his life to give us a secret place, a little sanctuary amongst the many countries where we're scattered at. And we look at him like he's the hustler. He's the scammer. When we've been getting scammed by America for over 500 years. And we keep going back to them for an answer and a solution. When the solution is in ourselves, man, it's in us gathering together. Oh, nation not desired. It's in us coming together, us showing brotherhood, us leaning on one another, not relying on this government, which the Lord is bringing down. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
From the trap of the fowler. What is a fowler? A fowler is a person that tries to hunt birds. What's the mascot of America? It's the eagle. You understand? They hunt us. They hunt our steps. Go ahead.
And from the noisome pestilence.
Yeah, man. You was afraid of COVID back in 2020. It's something else coming. what's it, the Hatan virus or whatever that was called, the Hatana virus. It's worse plagues coming. Now I'm hearing like they're releasing millions of mosquitoes to supposedly take out other mosquitoes. They listen, man. They playing with genetic viruses and all kinds of stuff, man. They got all kind of plans and schemes against us. But the Lord is our only protection from that. Not the American government, man. Not good white folks. And shout out to my good white friends. Shout out to my white friends that hate us. But we can't rely on them. We got to rely on each other and our God. Read the next verse.
Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust.
That's right.
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Right, man. Bottom line is, if you want protection, it's only going to be in the ISUPK, man. The home of the truth, man. It's only going to be with your power, with your God. If you're Hispanic, Black, or Native Indian, you don't have no protection outside of the Most High. You understand? We can't hide amongst the trees. We can't cover ourselves with fig leaves. We can't take on the culture and try to, merge into this melting pot. It ain't no melting pot. We the ones getting melted. We losing ourselves. The help is in the Most High. The help is in each other. It's in knowing your culture, man. The story of Adam and Eve is just a story of the Black, Hispanic, and Latino in America today. It's the story of the Israelites in Egypt. It's the story of the so-called Black, Negro, Hispanic, Latino, and Native Indian of indigenous descent here in America. This record, this Bible, is showing you that there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
And if you keep, what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing, expecting a different result. If we keep doing this, we'll be in hell for another 1,000 years. Adam lost the kingdom. Christ died for us to get it back. Let's be perfect. Let's follow Christ, man. You understand? Let's not be ashamed. Let's be covered in our culture, man. And let our light shine and be a light to the Gentiles, man. A light to our people. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Amijam. Actually, Salakia. Well, yeah, it's late. Never mind. Amijam. We're going to courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat. Amijam, Barak. Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Shah, Brakatah. Yajamatah, Sar, turn, face the sisters. Men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat. Amijam, Barak. Yahweh, Shemar, Latham, Shem, Yahweh, Shah. Yajamatah. I'm sorry, sis, go ahead. Yajamatah, class dismissed.
Because when I found this truth, guess what happened? I put my birthday away. When I found this truth, I put the drugs away. When I found this truth, I quit whoring my sisters. When I found this truth, I started becoming a better man and a better person. Because now I know I'm on that narrow path. Now I know I'm on a righteous path. Now I know what I'm doing is going to get me somewhere.